we are going to commit to the governor and commit to the people of Guam that there will be unimpeded access to Paget Village, Paget Cave, and the access to those areas.
But their plans to use the lands around and near the Paget Village and Cave as a firing range complex remains the same. This is what Undersecretary Robert Work told lawmakers later on.
Route 15 is still the preferred area that we would like to put our ranges. What happened was when we initially did the EIS, the ranges actually went over Paget Cave and Paget Village and actually would have restricted access down the trail into the area. There was never any intent to have rifle rounds or anything hit anywhere near the area. They would have gone overhead.
So you're not necessarily then saying that you're going to just stay within your footprint, that you're still looking at government-owned land for the firing range, which was along Route 15.
Yes, ma'am.
While with the governor, the delegation also committed to a one Guam, a green Guam, as well as what they call net negative land, which means the military will own less land than they currently own by the time the buildup ends.
What we can commit to is that at the end, there will be less acreage right now. There will be less acreage under control of the U.S. government.
This means they'll have to give back some of the land under their current inventory to the government of Guam. Issues with Paget and land are intertwined with the programmatic agreement, which is one of the main reasons they are here, to push for its signing.
The U.S. government and the Department of the Navy never meant to try to set an ultimatum or a deadline to the governor or the legislator. What we have been interested in doing is moving forward on about $1 billion worth of construction projects that we cannot do until the programmatic agreement is signed. We've committed to the governor this morning that we will work with him over the next several weeks to try to resolve any issues that are still outstanding.
Issues like the use of Paget as a firing range complex. While the programmatic agreement doesn't cite Paget specifically, it refers to the preferred site selected for the firing range in the record of decision, or areas along Route 15. Paget is among those areas along Route 15, and Paget is part of the area selected as a preferred site for the firing range complex. The ancient Paget Village and the Paget Caves is but a portion of the entire Paget area, and defense officials are now saying that locals will have unimpeded and 24/7 access to these areas despite the fact that their preferred site remains the same. So what if the programmatic agreement is not signed?
Either we or the Guam SHPO can decide that the consultations that are going forward aren't getting anywhere, and either party can terminate. And then what happens is you go forward, but you don't have that same agreement to consult. You sort of
have to go forward
on a project by project. Exactly.
The high-level delegation then moved on to the legislature to meet with island lawmakers in the public hearing room. They were also met by quiet protesters who observed the meeting in silence, but with signs in hand. Lawmakers took turns asking questions and spent quite a bit of time lecturing the defense officials about various buildup-related issues. Senators said they felt the two resolutions they passed dealing with the buildup were ignored and felt that the 10,000 comments island residents made on the DEIS and FEIS were also ignored. Roy Respicio called the military buildup a huge public relations nightmare for DOD and the federal government. And Senator Ben Pangilinan said that the programmatic agreement shortcuts the National Historic Preservation Act process.
Because I think that the way that the programmatic agreement is structured, the stipulation to no significant impact and in other areas on different projects, I think, it shortcuts the entire process.
Senator Frank Bloss Jr. said having these discussions with defense officials was like listening to a broken record.
These are issues that have been brought up time and time and time again. And so when we want to talk about, we want this to be good for Guam, we want to prove, you say you want to prove to the people of Guam that this is going to be good. When is the proof going to come? And I'm sorry for being brash. I'm sorry for, no, I'm not going to apologize because I'm frustrated. I'm frustrated on behalf of the people.
During today's press conference, the governor too promised to do what is best for the people of Guam.
We are for this buildup as long as it is a Guam buildup, in that both the strategic interests of the United States are adhered to, that again we have a safer nation and a safer world, and then at the same time in this little corner of the Pacific, that our best interests are also taken into account, and that at the end of this buildup, the quality of life for our people is enhanced.